From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
Welcome in and thank you for joining us. I'm Amanda Starrentino here with Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory. Getting right to your forecast now at 7 as possible winter weather could be headed to parts of the area, Kevin.
And it's southern portions of the viewing area, Amanda. This is not going to be a big deal, but enough that there's a winter weather advisory. Could see an inch or more in some spots, but streaming north of St. Louis towards southwest Indiana. That's the area showing up on radar now. In central Indiana, it's still pretty dry. So what you see southwest of Bloomfield and Bedford, just showing up the beginning of some of the moisture in the mid-levels that will moisten up the atmosphere and set the stage for the light accumulating snow. Sullivan to Bloomington to Columbus and Greensburg south. That is the advisory area through 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Could see an inch or a little more in spots. It will mix with some rain at the beginning, so that makes it a little more tricky, but it also just cuts down on our overall snow potential. Temperatures will drop below freezing. We're already there in Indy and Kokomo, 34 in Bloomington. As you go through the evening and to 11 o'clock tonight, you begin to see the colors of the rain-snow mix. We'll finish this timeline through the overnight, and then, if you're looking for some sunshine, we'll find it for you in the 7-day forecast.
Fighting the virus on the front lines, tonight we are focusing on a group of young doctors helping save lives here in the Hoosier State. The IU Health doctors are known as the Fellows. WRTV's Nikki Dementri shares the stories of those known as the unsung heroes of the pandemic.
We signed up for this. This is what we love. It didn't necessarily sign up to be in the middle of a pandemic, but it happens, I guess. I don't know.
COVID-19 quickly became Dr. Roberto Suazo's reality back in March.
I was the first fellow to get deployed on the COVID ICU unit.
For him, it's also personal.
I did end up losing my grandfather to COVID back in April, so it hit home from the beginning.
Dr. Suazo was on the COVID front lines as a fellow with IU School of Medicine. First-year fellow Dr. Cynthia Carrasco and third-year fellow Dr. Francesca Duncan are fighting the virus head-on alongside him.
What I never anticipated is that I would be family, doctor, friend, caregiver for one person every day.
The Pulmonary and Critical Care Fellowship is an intense 3-year-long clinical and research-based program. There are less than 24 in the program.
We all had to kind of step up and learn very, very quickly. There were times in which we were kind of responsible in the sense that we had to kind of act as an attending because there were just so many patients that we had to care for.
Essentially, fellows are trained doctors who are looking to become experts in a particular field.
It's been a whole range of emotions, from frustration, of people not believing in it and not knowing kind of what we're dealing with on a daily basis, even to gratitude. I think so many people are kind of working together so well as teams and kind of leaning on each other for support.
These fellows all came to Indy from different backgrounds. Dr. Carrasco is from Mexico. Dr. Suazo was born in Puerto Rico. And Dr. Duncan grew up in Georgia, but they all share a passion in helping others.
What makes me go every day? I think it's exactly that. Just thinking that not is just my job, but it's my privilege. A few people have the chance to help. We're in a position to help.
Inside the walls of the COVID ICU, it's their classmates who turned into their family that gets them through some of the hospital's darkest days.
Everyone is there with the sole goal in mind to help others. We also provide that emotional support for each other.
Within the last few weeks, these fellows can now say they are fully vaccinated against the deadly virus, something they say means an end to the pandemic is near.
At the beginning of the pandemic, the word was like fear. Now we're feeling very, very hopeful.
Nikki Dementri, WRTV.
The 3 fellows you just heard from are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and are urging fellow Hoosiers to follow suit. We asked them to each share why they are encouraging others to get the vaccine. You can find those videos on our website at WRTV.com. New COVID-19 cases seem to be trending downward in Indiana, though it remains to be seen if that's because of a weekend delay in reporting. Today, more than 2,500 new cases were reported. That's the first time since January 2nd. The number has been below 3,000, but overall, the positivity rate remains high. 30 new COVID-19 deaths were also reported by the health department. Nearly 9,000 Hoosiers have now died with the virus. As for vaccinations, the number of people in Indiana who have gotten at least one dose has now surpassed 300,000. Each of the Hoosiers who have lost their lives to COVID-19 left behind a family and a legacy. One man from Franklin spent his life devoted to entertaining, spending decades playing characters and doing tricks for Central Indiana kids. Our Alyssa Donovan explains how the loss of Jerry Foley will leave a void in the community.
The tree is still up, the decorations are still out, and at this house, it stays this way year-round. That's because this is where one of our favorite Christmas couples call home.
He grew the goatee, and it looked nice on him. And then we decided to possibly play Santa Claus, so he grew the full beard. That's how it started.
Stacy and Jerry Foley have portrayed Santa and Mrs. Claus at events around Central Indiana for years.
Most of the time, he wore traditional Santa, which is this, of course.
And the magic never ended. After the holidays, Jerry would transform from Santa Claus into Mr. Mystic, the Magician, a role he played for more than 3 decades.
He loved to entertain children. Children was his passion, whether he was portraying Santa Claus in December or performing magic or balloon twisting.
An entire room in their house devoted to Jerry's passions.
On these shelves is all magic. In these crates here are all balloons for his balloon twisting.
Stacy taking on the role of magician's assistant when the couple married in 1987.
He was just one of the sweetest men in the world. And I was proud to call him my husband. It's his magic table. He had just finished a show in the beginning of July, and he has some of his magic stuff still in it.
But everything changed for the Foley family in July of last year.
Jerry, myself, and our daughter started getting sick in mid-July.
All 3 of them tested positive for COVID-19. But Jerry's symptoms were the worst.
At the end, Jerry was just struggling to breathe, and he didn't want to go to the hospital, and so he didn't.
The 61-year-old passed away in his home of a heart attack due to COVID-19.
I miss him so much. We all miss him.
But she knows in her heart the show really isn't over for Jerry, and one day she'll be assisting him again.
I just loved him so much, and I miss him so much, and I do know one day we'll be together again because I know where he is. He's doing magic for Jesus.
I'm Alyssa Donovan, WRTV.
And thousands of Hoosiers have died since the coronavirus pandemic began. WRTV would like your help in putting names and faces to the numbers. If you have lost someone close to you, connect with us. We want to share their story so that those taken from us are never forgotten. You can reach us at facesofcovid at WRTV.com. Today is meant to be a day of community service, but the pandemic's making that pretty hard this year. Coming up, how you can give back virtually as a way to honor Martin Luther King Jr.
WRTV.com.
On a day we remember Dr. Martin Luther King and the important work he did, Indianapolis is also celebrating the life of a local hero, Mr. Johnny Purchase. 60-year-old Purchase worked as a mentor to young people in the Martindale-Brightwood community, helping lead them on a positive path. Purchase's son says he was working at the Edna Martin Christian Center when he was shot and killed. His murder is still under investigation. MLK Day is typically a national day of service. This year, some of those service projects have been created because of the ongoing pandemic. Now, the Kennedy King Memorial Initiative here in Indianapolis spent the day working to collect money and supplies for back to in-person school preparedness kits. They'll include masks, hand sanitizer, water bottles, and other supplies. The kits will be given to students in IPS and Indianapolis charter schools. You can make a donation online between now and this Wednesday. Just go to the website on your screen, kennedykingindy.org. Coming up on the news at 7, the demand for the COVID-19 vaccine remains high, and some counties don't have appointments available for weeks. The options for those who don't want to wait that long. Kevin.
Snow for some of us tonight, Amanda. Sunshine for all of us on a few days. That will be revealed in the 7-day forecast.
I want to live again. And I think this will do it. It may not. I may be wrong, but not everybody can be wrong.
Tonight, some people 70 and older are finding they are not able to make appointments to get the vaccine in their county because slots are filled or they have to wait for several weeks to get in. Our Nicole Griffin gets answers to questions seniors have when it comes to registering for the vaccine.
Since the pandemic started, life has been much different for Peggy Morgan and her husband.
We've been home a lot.
The couple loves to travel, but in December they had to cancel their 50th wedding anniversary trip to the Grand Canyon.
I just want it to be over. I want to get back to life. I want ball games. You know, we're Colts season ticket holders. We haven't been able to go to a game, of course, and I want back to normal.
In hopes of eventually returning to some normalcy, the Morgans are signing up for their COVID-19 vaccine.
When it first came out, I said, no way. Wasn't going to do it. I am not a shot taker. Then I got thinking about it. I'm tired of being afraid.
Peggy registered on the state's website, but her appointment was not until February 8th at the one site available in Hendricks County. When she tried to register for her husband, the slots were completely full.
I went on down the line. There was a lot of underneath. There was Marion County, Eskenazi, Ascension, all those. And I was able to get my husband an appointment at Eskenazi for this Saturday.
I connected with Peggy on Facebook after seeing her comments notifying other seniors that she was able to get her husband an appointment outside of the county they live in. Many were not aware that was an option.
I had no problem getting him registered there.
The state health department says they are working every day to expand capacity by adding more sites and appointments. Peggy says after waiting 3 hours on 3 different occasions on the phone with 211 to switch her appointment, she is now scheduled at Eskenazi Hospital for her COVID-19 vaccine.
If this is going to work, I want it.
Working for you, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.
The Indiana Department of Health says the main factor in determining availability of appointments is the state's allocation of vaccine from the federal government. Department of Health officials say they will add locations and appointments as more vaccine becomes available. State officials encourage you to check back often on ourshot.in.gov because new appointments are continually added. If you need to call 211, do so in the afternoon or evening when it's not as busy. And you don't have to get the vaccine in the county you live in. If another county has available appointments, you can schedule there. Kevin.
We've moved the needle to 5.4 inches of snow, Amanda, for the season. We're still about 11 inches below average, but at least we made some progress 4 days in a row. We've had a trace or more of snow. And as you know, we've got the snow to the south coming our way tonight. As you look at the radar, nothing happening in central Indiana, but south and west of Terre Haute, Sullivan, and Vincennes, the very leading edge of the moisture. It will take a while for that to reach the ground. Air's fairly dry, will moisten things up, and then the chance for rain-snow mix at the beginning, changing to all snow. That's why the advisory is in effect from Sullivan to Bloomington and Greensburg south. There's the view, a west wind across central Indiana. Temperatures 27 in Chicago, 21 in Minneapolis. Our temperatures the next couple of days will stay in the low to mid 30s. Our surge in temperature will come Thursday, but it's brief. We'll just jump into the 40s and then it will be pulled right back out from under us. 36 in Terre Haute and Sullivan, 35 in Bloomington. That's critical because that's where the snow will begin as a wintry mix and then change over to all snow. As we take you through the timeline up to 11 o'clock, you see the expansion from Sullivan and Bloomfield, Bedford and Seymour. The pink and blues represent that rain-snow mix. Then it's more just snow at 1 a.m. By 7 a.m., this will be pushing to the east, and a little evidence of overnight snow will be left behind. Watch it on I-65 from Columbus down to Louisville if you're driving tomorrow morning, or Greensburg to Cincinnati. 23, that's the temperature we expect in the morning in Indy. 34, the afternoon high. It will be breezy. 34 partly sunny skies, really both tomorrow afternoon and Wednesday afternoon. Your temperature highlight in the 7-day forecast arrives Thursday, 42 degrees. The wind will make it feel colder through the day tomorrow, 10 to 20 miles per hour, but we'll break up the cloud cover, pick up some afternoon sunshine, hold on to a mixture of clouds and sunshine Wednesday through Saturday. By Sunday, the clouds are back. Our rain-snow mix potential is there Sunday, and then Monday, a little more likely that we'll see a rain-snow mix with temperatures in the lower 40s. That's your 7-day forecast. Nothing too cold in there or nothing too warm. It's just right. Amanda?
Thanks, Kevin. Recently, we saw the end of another college football season with Alabama winning the playoff championship over Ohio State. 1 year from now, Indianapolis will host that event. It's a game nearly 4 years in the making, and the hard work is just beginning. Brad Brown has a closer look in the Sports Extra Spotlight.
Less than 12 hours had passed since they fired off the confetti cannons in Miami, and already the college football playoff started looking ahead, with all eyes focused firmly on Indianapolis.
Now that the clock has turned over and it's Indiana's time to host, the CFP will really be focused on the stadium, the infrastructure, transportation, parking, all the nuts and bolts areas. So what we really hope to add to the table is a unique element for the fans here to celebrate.
CFP organizers and the Indy Host Committee held a virtual handoff on Tuesday. Even from 1,000 miles away, the excitement of next year's title game is already brewing.
Their experience, not only with the 500 Festival, but also with all the NCAA events, will serve them well. This is yet another college event, another feather in the cap of Indianapolis to win the bid and then to show the rest of the world how they do events so well.
The game is expected to be the biggest football event here since the Super Bowl. What could be a $150 million economic impact, the potential for 100,000 visitors, and a 4-day football celebration spread across many parts of downtown.
Well, it's a bright spot. It gives us optimism, and it gives confidence to other event organizers and conventions who are scratching their heads saying, how is Indianapolis able to pull off March Madness in its entirety? How is Indianapolis still actively planning for the college football playoff now in a year? And so we've seen that. We've heard many other cities, many other event organizers, sports and otherwise, saying, what's going on in Indy?
Beyond football, the CFP Foundation and dozens of local corporate partners are helping to give back to the community. More than $1 million is already committed to several local education legacy programs, and 4 area schools will be getting media center makeovers.
When we launched this effort in 2017, one of the reasons you launched that early is to allow your donors to spread the funding over time.
But soon it should be time to kick off another championship night in Indy, a city that does that better than any other.
All of our leaders had spent plenty of time in Indianapolis at events, but more so they love the community spirit, and they know what a great job Indianapolis does in hosting events. And that may sound trite, but it isn't. Not everybody can pull off events the way that Indianapolis can.
363 days might seem like a lot of time, but there are literally thousands of details that still have to come together between now and then, with the committee, the volunteers, and the corporate donors all coming together and hope that Indy can put on another spectacular event here in 2022. At Lucas Oil Stadium, Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
Only at Ashley Home Store.
Astronomers have announced a super discovery outside of our solar system. They found a super Earth orbiting one of the oldest stars in the Milky Way galaxy. The planet is about 50% bigger than the Earth and has 3 times the mass, which is why astronomers call it a super Earth. Astronomers say the super Earth is super hot, with an average temperature of 3,140 degrees Fahrenheit.
I knew there was a catch there. No reason to start looking for property on the super Earth. Snow, you can start looking for that probably 10 or after, especially from Terre Haute and Columbus South. Temperatures don't warm too much until Thursday. Amanda?
Well, thank you for making WRTV your choice for news. Our next newscast is tonight at 11.